It is another beautiful day in the nation's capital. We've had great weather this weekend. A little hot on Friday, but just a spectacular Sunday afternoon for Rockies baseball as the Rockies and the Nationals play the rubber match of this series. Rockies with an extra inning win on Saturday, and Charlie Blackmon was right in the middle of that win with a couple of home runs, and Chuck will lead off for the Rockies as we get you the Southwest Airlines Rocks batting order. Charlie's at the top. DJ back in the lineup yesterday, hitting second. Then Cargo and Nolan. David Dahl will start in left field. Gerardo Parra, another start at first base. Daniel Descalso at short. Tony Walters is behind the plate. And Chad Bettis is on the hill. You see Chuck had his 7th multi-home run game yesterday. This is Lucas Giolito, top prospect in the Nationals organization, and Jeff, he is making his 4th start of the season.
A number 4 prospect overall in baseball. Had a start against the Mets a couple different times, and then his last start back on July 24th against San Diego. Just went 3 1/3 in that game. 4 hits, a couple earned runs, fastball, curveball, changeup. The problem he's had here at the big league level is that his off-speed pitches, he's not throwing them for strikes. And I also want to look at the fastball velocity today to see what it's at, because this is a guy that you kept hearing could throw 98, 99 miles an hour, but he's seen a lot of 93s to 95s.
That's what his first pitch was, and it missed the plate, so ball 1 to Blackmon. And that's over the plate. 1-1. I know he had Tommy John surgery back in 2012. He's only 22.
Well, he's drafted out of high school in California. I remember hearing a lot about this kid back in 2012, one of those power guys.
And Charlie with a liner, and that'll be a single to lead things off as it gets by Zimmerman. So another base hit for Blackmon.
Yeah, lead the ball game off. Charlie 3 for 6 yesterday with those 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. And he just scorches this ball past a diving Ryan Zimmerman, goes off of his glove and just knocks it down to limit Charlie to a single. If that gets by, it might be a double, or at least a possible double for Charlie. But now, kind of the daily double again with Charlie on first and DJ coming to bat.
Zimmerman just kind of wiping himself off after that dive. So here's LeMahieu, leads the National League with his .347 batting average. Daniel Murphy is right behind him at .346. This is the race we anticipate we will see for the rest of the season. These 2 second basemen battling it out.
When Murphy went into yesterday's game hitting .346, DJ .344. But with the 3 hits late in the game, he took him over for that lead. So now it's .347 and .346.
The last time somebody other than DJ LeMahieu or Daniel Murphy was leading the National League, May the 8th, Martin Prado was hitting .396. Now that's early in the season.
Right. When you're saying .396, that's George Brett,
right.
Ted Williams territory.
DJ ahead in the count 2-0. And that's up high. So a 3-0 count.
And this has been part of the problem for Lucas. In 11 innings, he has 9 walks and only 5 strikeouts.
And I know, Jeff, he's been a big strikeout guy in the minors, but this is a different
the big
level.
Yes.
DJ takes that inside.
And this is exactly what you want to be able to do after winning that game yesterday, scoring 5 runs in the 11th inning. Guy making his 4th start. As I mentioned, the first since July 24th. Come out early.
Let's go back to yesterday. Carlos Gonzalez, career home run number 200. And he gets all of this to center field. The exclamation point for the Rockies in that extra inning win. Only the second hit for Cargo on this road trip.
Yeah, he was 1 for 22 prior to that home run.
Bounces up, and it's ball 1. Well, the Venezuelan newspapers were happy for Cargo. Let's take a look at the front pages. Number 200 for Carlos Gonzalez. They even have the score of the Rockies game. I like this one where they list from Miguel Cabrera down to Carlos Gonzalez, the 200 homer club.
One, yeah, Big Cat on there with 399.
Cargo ahead 1-0. And that bounces inside. Blackman gets back to second.
We'll go back to that list of all-time Venezuelan-born players. You got Miggy at 436, still going strong. Seems like he's played for 20 years.
Yeah,
just in his early 30s.
22.
And then Big Cat, Maglio Ordonez, a long time with the White Sox. Bobby Abreu, Tony Armas, Victor Martinez still playing.
Bobby Abreu was in Philadelphia when the team was there, and I know Cargo loves Bobby Abreu. So Wilson Ramos came out and just kind of talked to Giolito. It's 6 straight balls.
This is for Cargo. Make sure it's in a perfect spot if you're going to swing. And he did. That ball was out and extended on a fastball. Fouled it right back.
That's a pitch he's able to get
to. Yeah, it is. And the reason I say he's thrown 6 straight balls. Don't expand the strike zone too much. And that's a good pitch on the Subaru strike zone for Cargo to hit, because he does like the ball out and away from him. He can cover that pitch. But you don't want to swing at something so bad that you get Lucas out.
Runners are moving and he fouls it off. So on the 2-1 pitch, they put Blackman in motion and DJ.
Well, and that's a on your own steal for Charlie, because of where Anthony Rendon is playing off the bag at third base with Cargo. The shortstop, Danny Espinosa, is trying to hold him close, but he's on the second base side or the open side for Charlie. So you can see that guy out of the corner of your eye. Yeah. And it makes it easier to get some rhythm going into second base. Or going into third base, excuse me.
So 2 on for Cargo, a 2-2 count. And that misses inside, so a full count. 9 of Cargo's 200 career homers have come against the Nationals. With Nolan on deck, see if Cargo can keep things going for the Rocks. This ball hit well to center, but Revere's got a beat on it. Actually, that's Turner in center, and Blackman able to move up with that. Let's look at the defense for the Nationals. I know Revere isn't, because Worth is going to get the day off. Ben Revere's going to be in left field, Trey Turner in center, and there's Bryce Harper in right. It's Rendon, Espinosa, Murphy, and Zimmerman, the usual starters in the infield. Wilson Ramos behind the plate, and Lucas Giolito makes his 4th start, as we said, on the hill.
Oh, there's Mike Winters.
He and Harper had a little,
they had a little disagreement about a pitch.
I like the way he tossed. It was just kind of one of the
just go
out.
Just go. I'm hot. I've been here a long time. I've seen a lot of pitches. I'm not going to hear it.
Let's go back to yesterday. Late in the game, Harper doesn't like the call.
You know what? There was some questionable calls late in the ball game. That one wasn't that bad. I know it might have been off the plate, but you can slam your helmet down, point, do all of that.
Yeah, Mike was just like, yeah,
see ya.
Nolan gets jammed and fouls this off with runners at the corners. Bryce Harper, you know, excitable guy.
Well, and he's been fined earlier this year. He was suspended for a game for some of the antics that he did after being tossed one other time. And really, that's the only thing left for baseball players and managers and coaches to argue about, balls and strikes, because everything's taken out of their hands with all the replay.
1-1 pitch to Nolan. Catches the outside corner. A cheer from the fans as Giolito gets ahead of the count.
And it was at the top of the Subaru strike zone.
Nolan had a couple of hits yesterday, 8 for 20 on the road trip. with 2 homers and 4 RBIs. Like to get the Rockies on the board, and he will with a single into left field. And Blackmon will touch home, and the Rockies score first.
We'll make it 30 RBI now for Nolan in the month of August.
This keeps rolling along.
109 on the season. Reaches out on the Subaru Supermo. Kind of deposits this one right off the end of the bat. Trying to throw another curveball. Threw a pitch right before it. Left it up in the zone. Same thing here. Nolan. I just love the discipline of the head. The way it goes down. Connecting all the way through the barrel of the bat. Allowing you to stay on that ball.
First pitch to David Dahl is a strike. I love how you can see that tumble on the curve. And all he did was get the end of the bat on.
Right, and that's the thing with curveball too, is you got to kind of process in your mind where it's going, not where it started. And that's where you hope if it's up, it's easier to track to.
Dahl swings and fouls it off, a 93-mile-per-hour fastball. Dahl comes into the game hitting .328. What exactly can't Nolan do? We hear you, Brad. Not sure.
Nothing. Just hashtag Nolan being Nolan again.
He's not the best base stealer, but other than that. But you don't have to steal bases when, you know. Well, that's down to Rendon, and he makes the grab in the air. Dahl was down on the count. He just kind of get sawed off on that.
Yeah, got in on the hands. Smart base running from DJ at second base. Did not get caught too far off. And Nolan at first. But don't get too far off the bag where you'd get doubled up.
So 2 outs now. Rendon makes the play. DJ's at second. Nolan's at first. And that brings up Gerardo Parra. Parra's numbers on the season, he's at .252. Takes a strike. Yesterday he had 2 walks. He came into the game with 4. And if I remember right, and Corey Sullivan reminds me of this all the time, his 4 previous walks were 4-pitch walks. Well, yesterday's were not.
He went over 100 plate appearances in between his 4th walk and his 5th walk.
Wow.
And he said, I'm going to just fly by that one because then it was just 1 plate appearance.
Friday he was ahead in the count in an AB. It was 3-0.
3-0.
And he didn't draw the walk in that one. And then he had 2 yesterday. 0-2 now on Parra. There's Blake Doyle, the Rocks hitting instructor, looking on. Rockies could use a hit here from Gerardo.
Just covered that one enough.
Yeah.
That's where he struck out in his first 2 at-bats yesterday, in the 2nd and the 4th inning. Both of the pitches were up in the Subaru strike zone. That one, he just makes sure that you don't leave it in the hands of the umpire, just to foul it off.
Here's Giolito's 0-2 pitch. And that's grounded to second. And Murphy able to make the play to end the inning. But the Rocks get on the board with a run as we head to the bottom of the 1st. lead things off for the Nationals. We've got to see Turner up close in these 2 recent series. And this kid can really play. Southwest batting order for the Nationals. Turner with his speed atop the order. Ben Revere, who has struggled, gets a start in left. Murphy with his .346 average is third. Bryce Harper in the middle. You see his numbers against the Rockies this season on the left. Then it's Rendon, Ramos, Zimmerman, and Espinosa with Giolito, the pitcher, hitting 9th. Trey Turner, .341 average, and all kinds of wheels. You guys talked about it yesterday, you and Drew, about how Walter couldn't talk about him because he went to NC State.
Well, anyway, if you're Chad, you want to keep him off the base, obviously. Chad, this is his 28th start, and that's tied for most in the National League with Madison Bumgarner, who will jump him after this because Madison's pitching later today. Fastball, slider, changeup, curveball for Chad. I think his slider, especially here in the month of August. Guys are hitting .063 against it. That's
Jeff,
the third lowest slider batting average against.
He's got a 4-pitch mix, but
times,
game in and game out, it varies.
Yeah. It depends on what he has a feel for in that particular game.
Turner gets all of this. Dahl looks up, and that's out of here. So a leadoff home run for Trey Turner on that fastball. And just like that, it's 1-1.
Well, this is the thing for Turner. It's not just all about the speed. He does have some pop, and he jumps on the 4-seam fastball at 93 mile an hour to Trey Turner, but we're going to freeze it right on contact so you can see where this is on the Subaru Super Mode. And look how low. They wanted it down here, but it ends up right here. I mean, that's just an easy pitch. It's like a batting practice pitch for a major leaguer when you miss your spot that much. Wanted it down, missed it by 1.5 feet.
You can hear that off the bat. Home
Yeah,
run number 5.
Sounded loud, didn't it?
Fifth leadoff home run this season for the Nationals. And as I said, the 5th for Turner as Bettis gets ahead in the count on Revere.
Dusty's just telling Turner, I used to do that quite a bit.
Yeah.
In my career.
This is chopped apart at first. He'll glove it and take it himself. Rockies defense today. Let's set you up. In the outfield, David Dahl is in left. Charlie Blackmon at center. Cargo's in right. Nolan at third. Descalso at short. LeMahieu at second. And there's Gerardo Parra, who gets another start at first base. Bettis and Walters. Tony is behind the plate. Parra made a nice play late in the game yesterday. A backhander down the line, Jeff. And I know you were talking about also where he was standing, trying to play no doubles.
Yeah. Well, and when you're playing a different position, you need to make sure you look in the dugout, get some help, ask your second baseman, where should I play? Because also with these new shifts, too, it's a little unusual for a first baseman. If as a second baseman you say, well, I'm shaded your way, that means he can cheat more over towards the line.
Murphy fouls that off. So 2 strikes on Daniel Murphy. I wrote down a couple of numbers on Murphy. Career .288 hitter. So, you know, this year he's up to .346.
When he already has more home runs this year than he had the previous 2 years combined. He had 23 the last 2 years. This year he has 25.
He's 31. DJ's 29. You know, it's the progression of these guys in their careers. 1-2 pitch from Bettis. It's down. It's chopped over Bettis. And Descalso able to throw out Murphy for the second out.
And that was wise for Chad to let that go. He thought about reaching up for it, but knowing where your infielders are also positioned, he knew Daniel was right behind him, so he let it go.
That instinct is one of the hardest things, isn't it, for some pitchers?
Very much so, because what's your first reaction? Ball's coming back at you.
Catch it.
Catch it. Try to field it.
It's right at me. No, it's not. Bryce Harper steps in at 254 on the season. And another first pitch strike from Bettis. Harper had that neck injury, came back, and has turned it up since as he steps out. Harper was the MVP last year. What did he hit, about 350 last year?
Close to it.
Yeah.
I mean, he is not having the same year as he had last year, but that's hard to duplicate.
Yeah. Tony set up outside, and that pitch is off the plate. Here's the MVP numbers. 330 for Bryce last year with the 42 homers and the 99 RBIs for the MVP of the National League.
And a ton of walks too for Bryce Harper. A 460 on base percentage.
Bettis and Walters being deliberate. Obviously with Harper, he steps out. Fastball inside. Looked a little up. Rockies got a run in the first. Trey Turner led off with a homer in the bottom of the first. Parra, another backhanded play. Bettis covers.
Smooth.
And it looks good for Parra at first base. So we are tied at 1 after an inning here in D.C. At Nationals Park, Mark Stout, Jeff Houston filling in for Drew Goodman. Drew out of town today. Toyota Talk. Send us your thoughts, comments, your photos. You know how to do it. Use the hashtag Toyota Talk on Twitter, Instagram, and we'll fire it up here this afternoon.
Welcome today, Mark. I know last time you worked with Spilly, and my pleasure to work with you today.
That was a home game against Arizona.
Yeah.
On a Friday night. Rocks didn't win, and it went a long time.
9-8, what, 4.5 hours?
Yeah, it was a record-setting game. Longest 9-inning game time-wise in the history of the National League. I think we covered the time thing yesterday with the 4:49 extra inning game.
Yeah, I think so.
Descalso leads off for the Rocks. It's Descalso, Walters, and Bettis here in the second. As the Rockies put up a run in the first, they did have 2 on with nobody out. Only managed to run 1-1 pitch. Danny swings through that. Big Lucas Giolito on the hill, making his 4th start.
Big guy, 6'6", 255 pounds is Lucas.
I looked at that last night. I'm like, wait a minute, double take, 6'6", 255. So then I think, you know, you think tight end, or you think NFL linebacker, just because of the weight. Here's the 1-2, and Descalso into center. Turner puts it away. So then I just, for fun, looked up Rob Gronkowski, tight end for, of course, the New England Patriots, and I find out that Gronkowski is 6'6", 257. Basically the same size as this kid.
Yeah, so you wouldn't want to try to tackle him, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I guess nothing's going to happen out on the hill today.
And you're not standing either.
I'm not. I'm sitting down. I stood the previous game for the 4.5 hours. I was excited. It was game 1.
And you do that during football games.
I do. I'm used to that.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you have to, you have to get up and try to get closer to the action if you can.
Well, and you're doing that game on Root Sports on Thursday, right? Who you got, New Mexico?
South Dakota at New Mexico. It's our first Mountain West football game. We've got
so you can stand on Thursday.
I will. Here's Tony Walters. Gets the start today. He's 0-2 in the count. Yesterday he had an awkward swing in an at-bat. He came in. You can see he came in from the bullpen to hit late in the game. You talked to him today, Jeff, right?
I ran into him in the lobby today prior to getting on the bus and just asked him how it felt, what happened. He just said, and it's not unusual for a guy, when you think you're going to get a certain pitch and you're going to hit it hard and then you miss it, or it could be you just swing through it. He kind of hyperextended his right elbow, but he said it feels fine today, no issue. Even after the game yesterday, he said it didn't really hurt.
That's dropped, but they throw down to first, so a strikeout of Tony Walters. You hear that all the time, hyperextended, especially in sports. I never really understood what that exactly meant.
What it exactly means is that there's pain after you do something and then it goes away.
Right. Does it come out of the socket?
No, I don't. It's just a pinching feeling in that arm. I think there's different varying degrees of our hyperextension, where maybe some of the ligaments get stretched, but this was just a case where it was just an awkward swing, felt weird, it hurts momentarily, and then the pain goes away.
I hope he's okay, because the guys really turned it up in the second half, hitting .391 despite that strikeout. Here's Chad Bettis at the plate. Rockies don't want you really don't want Giolito to settle down too much.
No, you don't want him to feel comfortable out on the hill.
See the numbers for Chad. He can handle the bat. Ahead in the count now, 2-1. There's Giolito, as we said. He's a big kid at only 22.
Chad's working on a one-game hitting streak. Got a hit in his last start to right field for his second hit of the season.
You say that like a proud papa.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's a pitcher.
It's a pitcher. We were saying, hey, he needs to get a hit, and he did. That was the first inning.
Yeah, he works the count full. Jorge De La Rosa, I think, has a 4-game hitting streak, and he
currently leads the Rockies.
He's knocked in runs with all his hits. It's grounded to first. Zimmerman backhands it. He'll take it himself, and Lucas Giolito has a nice top of the second. There's Chad Bettis. He'll be on the hill when we come back. One game as we go bottom 2. Let's get you the Coors Light Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. There's the Washington Monument. August 21st, 1908. Senators catcher Gabby Street, first person to catch a ball, dropped from the Washington Monument. He muffed the first 12. On the 13th, he was able to catch the ball 555 feet. That's where the ball was dropped from. I know you guys talked about this. You've debated it. You were there, Huey, this week. Can it be done? Could you do it?
I don't think so. I wouldn't want to try. Let me put it that way.
Gabby Street was an old school catcher from back in the day.
The problem is because of the terminal velocity. When you're at sea level, it's about 74 miles an hour. So I'm just thinking, if it's dropped from 555 feet, how fast is it go? I'm out.
You can't miss it. You got to have something on.
Well, even if you have something on, you have a mask on, it still could break your wrist, do so many different things. I'm not doing it. I'm out. I'm just saying.
Anthony Rendon leads off with a fly ball to David Dahl. That's not 555 feet high, but he makes the grab.
We're about at 555 feet high.
When we were in Baltimore earlier this year, I visited Babe Ruth's birthplace, right near the ballpark. And, they had some films and stuff of the Bambino, and he was catching balls from biplanes. They were flying airplanes, and it was a stunt thing. So, catch it like this.
And they're gonna pan out just to show you how high we are, because I think we are just below 555 feet from home.
That's why I feel like I need to stand.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can stand, but we're way up there, folks. The highest broadcast booth in the game. Now Pittsburgh's pretty close, but I say this one's higher.
But at least we can see the Capitol building.
That's true.
To the left.
See the Capitol building and the work they're doing on that.
So 1 out for Bettis. You see his pitch count is nice at 16.
Well, and that's key too, because you think back to his last start, Mark.
7 walks.
7 walks in that game. Could never control anything.
1-1 count to Ramos. Yeah, that was the game in Milwaukee on Monday.
Yeah, he threw 111 pitches in 5 innings, 63 for strikes. Gave up the 1 home run. That was to Chris Carter.
Yeah, he didn't pitch poorly. It was a tedious game for him. I know he likes to work fast. Rhythm and pitch mix is what he's all about.
But what helped after Chad came out was Jordan Lyles pitched 3 innings that game, so you didn't burn through your whole bullpen.
2-1 pitch to Ramos, who's hitting .312, and that catches the inside of the plate.
Well, they'll back up slider. So for Chad, 19 pitches, 12 for strikes.
There's his 2-2. And off the plate, Tony set up outside. He missed it. Missed that spot. Rockies have won the majority of the time when Bettis pitches. He's been able to get some run support.
The Rockies are 7-2 in his last 9 starts.
Chopper. And Bettis off the mound. Can he throw out Ramos? He's safe at first.
That was the only hope you had for Chad. I know Nolan can do marvelous, kind of a Houdini act at third base, but with 2 strikes, where he's playing so deep, he's never going to be able to get to this baseball. And with the big swing, if you were trying to bunt a ball, Mark, I don't think you could bunt a ball better than what Ramos did. Chad barehanded. Strong throw.
Beat it by a step.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can only draw on my Little League days. That's the chug-a-bunt. That's the full-out swing. That's what we called it. You got on because you had a chug-a-bunt.
I like that terminology.
Well, Jeff, you were an astute bunter.
Yeah. I didn't have many chug-a-bunts.
To the level I got to, in Babe Ruth baseball, I had to bunt. But there were the guys with the chug-a-bunts. You're like, really? That's all you got of it? There's Ryan Zimmerman hitting 7th in the lineup. A longtime national with Ramos at first. 1-1 now to Zimmerman.
Said it yesterday, but it bears repeating. With Ryan Zimmerman, the first draft pick of the Washington Nationals when they moved.
Yeah, he's the guy you think of when you think of the franchise coming to Washington,
right?
And
he's
becoming the
kind of the face, and has been the face for a long time. I think now it might be turned over to Bryce Harper.
Sure,
but he's still the guy in the clubhouse that commands respect.
I think I'm right, and I'm going to say this because I'm assuming he's watching. Pretty sure Vinny Castilla hit the first home run.
Yes, he did.
For the Nationals here.
His picture is downstairs when we get off the bus, walk through the tunnel to come to the locker room.
I think he almost hit for the cycle in that game. Oh, that was at RFK. That's right. They started at RFK. But
it was April 14th, 2005.
Two pitch from Bettis. And Zimmerman swings through that. So strikeout for Chad Bettis for the second out here in the second.
Change up. Right on the hand on the Subaru Supermo. Had some serious movement on it. High leg kick, even with 2 strikes for Ryan Zimmerman. It's no baseball.
Bettis will get Espinosa here with 2 outs, and Ramos at first. Espinosa at 223, but the 20 home runs. Hit his 20th this week against the Orioles. Rookie year he hit 21. It's the first time since then in 2011 that he's had 20 long balls in a season. That catches the strike zone. Top of it, 1-1. The headshot that we have of Espinosa, he's got this giant beard. And I was talking
a few years back.
No, I was talking to some of the photo guys and and they said every year he grows that beard. They take it for the photo early, and then he shaves it off. It's just his thing.
Doesn't want to have to worry about anything in the offseason.
There's a few guys that do that, right? Yeah.
131 strikeouts, 4th most, tied for 4th most in the National League, with a guy that you would consider to have a lot of strikeouts, Giancarlo Stanton. The leader, Chris Carter, with 164.
He's ahead in the count, 3-1.
Nathan VR, 141, and Freddie Freeman, 139.
Well, this is the shot they have him on the scoreboard. He's clean shaven there. Here's the one I'm showing Jeff in the media guide. Look at that. Look at that. That's not the same guy, is it? Look at that. What is that?
That looks like one of those painted on
beers. It does.
When like you get the mask and you just kind of put it on the bottom.
Well, I think last year you could buy the Charlie Blackmon fake beard at the park. Because he showed it to me. Put it on, do this, tug it, put your hat on, let's play ball. Full count to Espinosa with 2 down. Ramos at first. Bettis looks in. See if he can get Espinosa get into the dugout with Giolito on deck. Well, he walks him, but he knows he has the pitcher Lucas Giolito ready to step to the plate. So here's Giolito with 2 outs. One for 3 in his 3 games. I'm assuming back in the day he could rake since he's 6'6".
He's not too far removed from high school where you can. And a lot of guys still swing the bat. They do have the DH in high school.
Even Walt was talking before the game. What I asked him about, he said, I remember him playing in Southern California. He's from LA Hollywood area. First pitch strike on the outside corner. Fastball from Bettis.
Harvard Westlake High School in LA.
Strike two. LA because his parents are both actors. They were both in the soap As the World Turns. Do you remember? I know you remember.
I remember that one.
Yeah. It ended in 2010, but it was running when we were watching.
Sands Through the Hourglass.
Is that?
No, that's Days of Our Lives.
That's
My
right.
bad.
3 pitches and the strikeout for Chad Bettis, able to walk off the hill. 1-1 game after 2 here in D.C. At first pitch here at Nationals Park. It's a picture-perfect day for baseball. 1-1 game as we head to the third, and the top of the lineup due up for the Rocks with Charlie Blackmon.
I don't think it's quite as hot today as it was yesterday.
It's not as humid either.
Yeah, I had some fans that ran into at the hotel today. They made their way up from San Antonio. They used to live down in the Castle Pines area. They moved to San Antonio, but they're big Rockies fans. They just came out to the game, and they sat by the dugout for all 11 innings, all 4 hours and 49 minutes.
The entire game yesterday.
Roasting in the sun, I think is the way they said it. But they were happy because at the end of the day, the Rockies won.
Yeah, it's warm today. It might have been a little warm yesterday. The Rockies did win, and they're now 17-11 here at Nationals Park.
They need those portable misters. Ones that kind of spray the mist the same time as the little fans going around.
Here's Blackmon, who singled in his first at bat, shows bunt, and takes a ball. Yeah, umbrellas are key.
Well, you had a big umbrella yesterday down by the dugout.
Yeah, Jason, the camera guy, brought it for me. You guys were saying a lot of people were heading to the beach for the final weekend, but he still had the beach umbrella for me. It was handy.
Huge, huh?
Yeah. I was like, just make like I'm at Ocean City, Maryland, or Bethany Beach, Delaware, but I'm down here at the game. Charlie ahead 2-0. He had a big swing and a miss.
Big swing and miss on the changeup. That's a different umbrella for Jason than
That's
it was
his own umbrella.
Okay.
He's got two. I mean, he's got it going on.
Did you tip him for bringing that umbrella?
I should have.
Yeah.
pulled foul by Charlie. You know what I told her? I said, I'm not going to be down there on Sundays to bug you, so let's call it even.
I'm just glad he was looking out for you, Mark.
Blackmon at .320 on the season with his 23 home runs. He hit the 2 yesterday, and I'm thinking, can Charlie hit 30 homers? Strike 3 looking on the inside corner, so Giolito sets down Blackmon. So that'll bring up DJ LeMahieu with 1 out here in the 3rd. Don't forget, fans, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies taco special and live Moss at Taco Bell. First pitch strike to DJ.
We've seen a few big overhand curveballs, 12-6 from Lucas. Sid.
DJ Revere able to catch it as DJ surprises us by pulling one to left.
And that's about the only way you're being able to get him out this year, is if he hits the ball right at somebody on the line. That ball just hung up enough for Ben Revere to come in and make the snag. Normally a center fielder in his career looks that in on the Subaru Supermo and still has to brace himself.
Revere makes the catch, 2 down, and Cargo at the plate. That's inside. Cargo said to me in the postgame interview, yeah, I finally did something, as he hit the home run yesterday. Disappointed in this road trip.
I only laugh because that's Cargo. And Cargo saying, finally, everybody else.
I looked at his average yesterday, and I'm looking at it now. It is down to 308. He was more around the 320 spot. Because I had said to him around the All-Star break, can you win the batting title? And he said, yeah, I can win the batting title.
Still 24 and 83 ribbies.
Fooled on that pitch. Now it's 2-2. So Giolito had a tough first inning. The Rockies started off with a walk and a single, then had a fly out and another single. Now he's a strike away from getting out of the 3rd. Check swing didn't go. 3-2.
And of his 3 starts coming into today, 2 of them had been here, 1 out on the road in New York.
It's fouled away. I know he faced the Mets 2 of those 3 starts.
Well, and the first time against the Mets, he was in line for a W, but then the rains came, and so that knocked him out after 4 innings.
Yeah, he pitched well in that game, not as well in the next 2. Then went down to AAA, struggled, but then his last few starts, he's looked good. And that's up the middle, a base hit for Cargo. So Carlos on the 3-2 pitch, back up the middle, and Nolan will step to the plate. Pedro says, I believe the NL MVP has to go to Arenado. That's from Pedro Martinez.
And that's
high praise.
Yeah, I should say hashtag real Pedro Martinez too.
Yeah. Saw Nolan knocked in a run in the 1st with a single. He dumped one into left field and plated Blackmon. A 1 pitch. Fouled back. Did Nolan almost catch that off?
He was trying to.
Off the net.
He was trying to. It goes off the netting behind home plate. Bounced back to him, and he thought he could catch it.
It's not quite catching a ball from the Washington Monument, but be a neat grab. So Giolito ahead with the 2-strike count. Got tied up and fouled it off.
Well, most guys would not be able to foul that off, or they'd swing through it. Nolan can cover pretty much any pitch, up, down, in and out. With a curveball to left field in his first at bat for a base hit.
Let's see what he gets here on the 0-2 pitch. And Nolan gets a hold of this one.
That's a homer.
Sometimes you swing and you do not miss. Nolan with a line drive home run. Wow. That got out of here in a hurry.
And they thought they could go back upstairs. What did I just say, folks? He can cover any pitch, up, down, in or out. This pitch was up. They tried to sneak the cheese past the rat. Couldn't happen.
0-2 pitch with cargo on, and watch Nolan hit this one on a line into what I think are the begonias in left field.
So already 3 RBIs on the night, or on the day. Oh yes, thank you very much.
And here's a ball hit well. And sometimes you swing again and you do not miss on the first pitch. David Dahl goes back to back with Nolan Arenado. And on the first pitch, Dahl homers to make it 4-1.
I'm sure Lucas is thinking, wait a second, I was 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning. 2 pitches later, I'm down by 3.
Dahl going the opposite way.
Going the opposite way again.
So Dahl hits his 5th home run as Parra steps up. And the Rockies have a 4-1 lead.
And for David Dahl, he has hit in 29 of the 32 big league games he's played in.
There's Dahl. His parents are here in town. A lot of his family. He and Nolan. Nolan hit his 35th. Dahl hit his 5th. Back-to-back pitches.
It's the 10th time this season that the Rockies have hit back-to-back home runs.
Nolan had 2 strikes on him. Dahl hit the first pitch. Giolito behind 3-0 throws a strike over. Here's the 3-1 to Parra. Swings through that fastball, full count. By the way, we should say that the Nationals optioned infielder Wilmer Defoe to make room for Giolito today. Here's his 3-2 pitch. And there's a walk for Parra.
That? He has almost as many walks in the last 2 games as he had the whole season coming in.
Yeah, he had 4. Now he has 3.
Oh, we need to go back to Nolan's home run and just watch again. We talk all the time about big league hitters and what they can do, but how fast did this one get out? Up into the bushes down in left field.
Those are begonias, Jeff.
Okay, begonias. I'm not. Yeah.
Starts with a B.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not real big on their.
They're annuals. And they're red.
Well, the begonia's got a souvenir.
I know. He trashed those begonias. I mean, that thing got out there in a hurry. I'm used to seeing Cargo hit these. I looked up and it was
okay.
Let's see how fast it goes.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3. Yep, I got to about 3 Mississippis. 3 seconds.
Barely rushed the passer.
Right? Isn't that's the way we used to play it down in the street?
Yeah. There's a ball hit well to center. Turner going back and makes the grab as Descalso gave that a ride. Well, Nolan Arenado and David Dahl each gave the baseball a ride here in the 3rd inning. And these 2 home runs make it 4-1 Rockies as we go bottom 3. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Tavern Downtown. Visit Tavern Downtown after Rockies home games and get 2-for-1 draft beers with your same-day ticket. Trey Turner steps in to lead off the bottom of the 3rd. He led off the bottom of the 1st with a home run as the Rockies have a 4-1 lead. 2 quick strikes from Bettis on Turner. You like Chad's rhythm?
I do, very much so. He's able, other than the 1 pitch he made to Turner, throw the pitches in the location that he wants to. Even with the walk last inning to Danny Espinosa's a 3-2 count. I'm not going to give him something to hit when I know the pitcher's following him up. He buries a curveball. A lot of work went into the side sessions with Steve Foster, making sure that he sees everything. He knows what's happening with that delivery and the mechanics.
Turner gets a piece on the 1-2 pitch from Bettis. Chad's 19 and 18 in his career, so hoping he can get career win number 20.
Be number 11 on the season.
Yeah, he's worked hard this year. Take the baseball every 5 days. And here's Turner. DJ makes the grab. That floated enough for DJ to get up and make the catch.
Well, and it's hard, though, when it's floating like that to time your jump. When do I go? If it's hit on the line, you know. But now DJ's kind of waiting, and he has to move laterally, too. So when you're moving laterally, you don't have quite the same hop that you would if you were just standing there, kind of like that when they're testing you. How high is your vertical? Well, when you just stand there and you can jump up, you can reach a little higher, but as you're moving laterally trying to jump and time it, but DJ did, and when you're 6'4", that helps.
Yeah, and you never know, ball off the bat, if it's going to fade a little bit. Or
and that's what I'm saying. When you're trying to figure all that out in a blink of an eye, a couple seconds, I've seen a lot of infielders miss those.
There's Ben Revere. Ground that out to Parra in his first AB. Gerardo looked pretty smooth at first. Goes off of Walter's glove, 2-1.
I think Tony catches that. That would have been called a strike on the Subaru strike zone because it was in there. But when it popped out of the glove, it just didn't look good for the home plate umpire.
Grounded to DJ on a hop and an easy throw to Parra.
Well, fans, the next Fan Friday is Friday, September 2nd. So this coming Friday, and the first 10,000 fans will receive a Fan Friday Rockies t-shirt. Arizona Diamondbacks going to be in town. It's been a while since we've seen the D-backs.
Rockies have played well against Arizona.
Yeah. A.J. Pollock is back in their lineup.
He was just activated, right?
Just activated. It didn't help them yesterday, though. They lost 13-0 against Cincinnati. Out hit 16-4.
Yeah, I think it was 9-0 early, and didn't go well for the Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks are 54-76.
Here's Daniel Murphy, grounded out to short in his first at bat. Kind of hit it over the mound, and Descalso threw him out. That's where Danny is set up now on the Rockies shift.
Tony Walter's so adept at stealing pitches down in the zone. Really just, he sets up the target so low.
And another strike. I wrote it down. Murphy's first hit came August 5th, 2008 on the road at Houston off of Roy Oswalt. Saw that tweet about Bettis pounding the strike zone. That was his 49th pitch, and 31 have been in the zone.
That's what you're hoping after, you know, pitchers are going to have those days where they go out there, it just doesn't feel like you can do anything on the hill. And that's what Chad sure felt like after his last start, was the 7 walks.
Tony wanted that curve down. It misses in the dirt, 2-2. Yeah, I've talked to Chad extensively this season. I'll show him some of the analytics we get. He knows it all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's, you know. He's like, yeah, we have a game plan going in to every team. As this is hit to DJ, and it gets by DJ in the right field.
See how they rule this?
What do you think, Jeff?
I think it's an error. And I'm not saying this because Daniel's hitting. I always have to thinking I'm going to take care of DJ, but I just looked at this play, the way he went after it. Kind of played it off to the side.
Let's see what kind of hop it takes at the end here.
I don't think it's the hop. He just didn't
get in front of it.
Maybe because he didn't get any leather on it, they give him a base hit. But I just watch DJ slam his glove. To me, that tells me as a former infielder that I should have had that ball. But they are going to give an error to DJ.
Yeah, E4. I think it's a good call. He makes that play.
Yes. 6th error of the season on DJ. I just didn't know if they do some home cooking.
Usually they do, right?
Although the official scores are independent.
So here's Bryce Harper with Murphy at first, and that's outside. DJ's Gold Glove second baseman.
And just his reaction.
Yeah.
And now it's up to Chad to pick up DJ, because DJ's done that so many times to these guys. Sit down. There you go. Nice
play,
job,
Parra.
Chad Bettis.
And Parra on one knee comes right to him. Easy out to step on the bag. Rocks up 4-1 after 3. Yeah, Jenny, that's about 108 miles from D.C. to Richmond south.
The Flying Squirrels. Is that better than the El Paso Chihuahuas, or do you think it's about the same?
Does Richmond have flying squirrels?
I don't know.
Have you ever seen? Here's a bunt attempt by Walters, and it goes right back to Giolito. Have you ever seen a flying squirrel? I mean, other than National Geographic or some textbook.
Was it Rocky?
A flying squirrel?
Rocky and Bullwinkle? Wasn't he?
Yeah.
Wasn't he a flying squirrel?
I'll count it.
There you go. Now, Richmond used to be the AAA affiliate of the Braves. And now they're the Flying Squirrels is San Francisco's AA affiliate. And why wouldn't you have your AA affiliate?
In Richmond?
Yeah.
If you're from San Fran? So here's Bettis after the quick out. Walters tried to bunt his way on. Chad got Bryce Harper to end that third inning. He grounded out to first in his first at bat. It's over for strike two. Anything special, Jeff, from Giolito here? You see, big kid throwing hard.
Yeah, the home runs that he hit were both on fastballs. We've seen a pretty hard curveball today. One or two changeups. But still haven't seen that 97 that the scouting report says that he has, or 98. Got to remember, still, he's only 22 years of age. Fastball 72% of the time, then the curveball, that's what the breaking pitch is, and a changeup. As you said it, he's the #1 prospect for Washington, 4th best prospect in baseball, both by MLB and Baseball America.
He was the 16th pick in 2012. He was going to go to UCLA and then signed with the Nationals. There's Mike Rizzo. Bettis stays alive. I was reading a little bit about Mike Rizzo. He was with the Diamondbacks, and they list a number of players that, came up under him, and one of them is Carlos Gonzalez. Now, I want to get that story down the road from either Cargo or Mike about whether Cargo really knew Tapper, and Lucas off the hill and throws it to Zimmerman for the second out. If Cargo knew Mike Rizzo was there, but Carlos was only 16.
I'm sure he knew the name and knew who he was and what his title was. I think most of the minor leaguers know that. But then they traded him over to Oakland in the Dan Herron deal. Talking about Cargo.
Cargo's a guy that can hit some home runs, and so can Charlie Blackmon this season. He hit his 23rd yesterday, his second of the game, and then Cargo hit his 24th of the season. 2 batters later. Charlie steps in with 2 outs.
Well, the first home run yesterday in the 3rd inning. Knew it was high enough to get over the wall, just wasn't going to have the distance, and it did. But then the monster blow in the 11th, the 2-run home run with the runner on second trying to get him over. He got him over and got him in.
Most home runs of the month of August. This is all time for the Rocks. Dante in 95 hit 12. Big Cat next year hit 12. 20 years later, with 4 games left in the month, Charlie's at 11.
That's tied for the lead in the major leagues this month with 11 home runs.
Gets under this. Harper a step in. Now he'll take a few steps back. Shades his eyes and puts it away for the 3rd out. Rocks up 4-1 here in D.C. today. George and Thomas got tangled up.
I say we hold a congressional hearing on that.
Abe cruises to his 16th victory on the season.
Never count Abe out.
He's the 16th president, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, he is.
Right?
Very nice.
Here's Chad Bettis with a 4-1 lead, bottom four, and Rendon leads off for the second time in an inning in this game. And 2 quick strikes again for Chad Bettis. I was talking to Walt Weiss yesterday. He just said, Anthony Rendon, good player, and he said all his at-bats, everyone is competitive. Now, I know he made an error, a throwing error yesterday at third when he made a great play.
But he only has 8 errors.
He's played a nice third base. Gets under this 0-2 pitch, out to Cargo, and he'll put it away. But yeah, I was talking about just Rendon every at bat, competitive at bat, a lot of pitches, although Bettis got him there quickly. I'll bring up Wilson Ramos, the catcher. Brad Thompson has done a few games, sideline games for us, filling in for me when we shuffle things around. He told me that he talked to Ramos when he was in Colorado and said, "What? How are you hitting over 300 this year?" Off-season LASIK surgery.
Really?
Had LASIK. Was nervous to do it.
Sure.
Said, and he talked him through a translator, said pitch recognition night and day. Changed at the plate.
So was he not wearing contacts before, or just trying to wing it?
I think he was just trying to wing it.
Yeah. Well, it's not good when you're trying to wing it, deciphering between a 90 to 100-mile-an-hour fastball and a slider.
Back to Bettis, and he makes the grab, and he'll underhand it to first to Parra. And that's from a catcher, too.
Right.
Right.
But if he was wearing contacts, that's hard when you're at the plate, because I wore contacts at the end of my career where the wind is blowing and you're blinking, or you might blink and your contact moves. Everybody that wears contacts understands what I'm saying, that it moves as the pitch is coming and you're like, oh,
you're lost, right?
Yeah, I'm totally lost right now. Now, last year, 238, 11 home runs, 53 RBIs. Ramos is in the top 10 in batting average.
Yeah, I think Brad was telling me, too, there's a big differential in strikeouts because of that pitch recognition. Here's Ryan Zimmerman with 2 outs in the 4th. Bettis got Zimmerman swinging in the 2nd on a changeup. Catches the outside part of the plate.
Whatever adjustments they worked on the side for Chad Bettis, boy, is paying off huge right now. And this 59 pitches, 37, 38 for strikes.
There's another strike.
We broke down Giolito's percentage and what he has thrown, and this is key for Chad. Keep him guessing. Don't let him fall into, well, when it's 2-0, he's going to throw this pitch, or it's 1-2, you know, it's always going to be a curveball or a slider. Could be a fastball.
That 1-2 is down. 2-2 now to Zimmerman. Yeah, and you know, we show on that breakdown breaking pitches. Could be a curve.
Could be a slider.
Right.
Yes. We don't differentiate on that particular one, the difference. So in that percentage, it's both of those pitches.
Swing and a miss. Walter shows that he has the ball. And a strikeout to end the inning for Chad Bettis. He's only allowed 1 through 4. How about players with 10 or more home runs in a month this season? Go back to April, a couple of the Rockies, Nolan and Trevor Story. May, Chris Davis of the A's, Adam Duvall of the Reds. June, you got quite a few. Chris Bryant, Edwin Encarnacion, Adam Jones, Will Myers, and Nelson Cruz. Nobody in July. And then this month, Chuck Nasty, Brian Dozier, Gary Sanchez, the young Yankee, Ryan Braun, and Chris Davis, the other Chris Davis, the one without a K, the one for the Orioles.
And for Gary Sanchez for the Yankees,
yeah,
he's the quickest ever to begin his career with 11 home runs.
I saw highlights of him before he got called up, his catcher.
Yes.
And I was like, this guy's got to hit some home runs. He's young and he's huge.
Just hope he continues to have the success. Not just hit home runs and then, you know, I remember Kevin Moss for the Yankees hit, I think it was 16 or 17 home runs. And then that was about it for Kevin.
Giolito with 2 strikes on DJ, who leads off. I remember when Jay Bruce came up and he hit a bunch of homers and they were calling him Babe Bruce, but he's maintained it. Okay, so Jay Bruce now the Mets. 0-2. And DJ gets a piece, stays alive. So DJ's behind on the count, but you know that doesn't matter to you when you hit 346 on the year. Oh, 342.
Well, and that's if Daniel Murphy, 305. You talked about Martin Prado earlier this year, where he was in the batting race. You have to be able to hit behind in the count, feel confident.
And take some pitches too, right?
Well, you have to. Take pitches, but you have to identify your strike zone, what it is, and have command of the strike zone.
There's the 1-2 outside.
Like that pitch right there. To lay off that pitch has some movement. It's probably, I'd say 4 or 5 inches off the Subaru strike zone, but still enough where sometimes you're like, oh, is that close? And then you swing at it. And those are the ones you turn back to the umpire and say, was that a strike? And he says no.
That's way outside, so now the count's back to full.
Yeah, so he goes from 0-2, fouls off a pitch, takes 3 balls.
When the Cubs were in town, I felt like he was behind in the count every AB, and I don't know, passing. I talk to DJ all the time. Hey, and he looks at me like, I don't know. Well, now I know why, because he's, you know, a 342 hitter, regardless if he's behind in the count 1 or 2 strikes. Grounder to short. Espinosa. And over to Zimmerman for the first out.
As Cargo comes to the plate, it gives me a chance to tell you the fans, the first 15,000 of you through the gates on Sunday, September 4th, will receive a Carlos Gonzalez bobblehead.
That's the Venezuelan flag. A flying squirrel kind of has that membrane. That's how they fly, right?
You're still stuck on the flying squirrel.
I've never seen one.
I told you, Rocky, from Rocky and Bullwinkle. Let's go back and watch that cartoon when we watched as we were growing up.
Oh, I know. I've seen it. Cargo takes the ball. See, singled in the 3rd and scored on Nolan's home run. Out in front of that changeup. So here's the 1-1 to Carlos. It's inside. Giolito's at 87 pitches now, and he's due to hit in the bottom of the inning.
I think he's still going to go up and hit just because of their bullpen and the way it's played out.
Cargo fly to deep center. Turner. Good read off the bat. He puts it away. Let's go back to the 3rd inning.
And why not?
0-2 pitch. Nolan Arenado at the plate. And this thing had hardly any trajectory, and it got out in what you say, 3 Mississippi?
3, yeah, it's just shy of 3 Mississippis. Into the what kind of flowers, Mark?
The begonias.
The begonias.
Yeah. Begonias are good in direct sunlight, like they are in the out. They could be in patience, but they like shade better. All-time Rockies RBIs in the month of August. Nolan's at 32, one away from the Cato at 33 and 96.
We still have 4 games left.
2 strikes on Nolan. He swings. And
that's what he had last time when he hit the home run out.
Oh, 2 count.
Yeah, 2 strikes. Okay, he threw him a high fastball last time. I would wager here, not that we can bet on anything in baseball, that they wouldn't throw him a fastball up. Now they went down and away.
Outside.
This will make it easier.
See what Ramos puts down.
Yeah, we'll get signs. Curveball wants it in the dirt.
Good pitch. Good hack to stay alive. Lucas Giolito, as I said, his parents were in As the World Turns. His dad was in Who's the Boss. Just letting you know, Jeff.
With Tony Danza.
That's outside. Back to even with 2 outs. Giolito pitched 1 inning in his last start for the Syracuse Chiefs. They got him out because they knew he was probably going to go today. And this one's hooked down the line. And that's going to be foul. Not a lot of room down the lines, the extreme lines here.
I think a lot of these new ballparks, there's not a lot of room. They want to try to get the fan experience as close as they can. So they make those walls where it's just anywhere 4 to 6 feet away from the line. It's a little more difficult for the outfielders. He's going towards the corner.
2-2 pitch. Nolan fouls it off to right. And we've done this over the course of the season. I might have to do it again, like on the plane ride home, to see where Nolan is with his 288, 35, and 111 this year compared to last year. It's been pretty similar game by game.
Very steady.
All right, describe that swing.
Well, make sure I can foul it off swing. Nothing you can do with that pitch, really. Where it was, you maybe hit it to right field. Again.
Let's show you last year to this year for Nolan. A year ago today, 278, 30, and 92. Ahead of his pace now.
That's even with that stretch he went through a couple weeks ago when we were saying, oh, what's wrong with Nolan? He's in a big slump.
They never get a hit again. Every ball's popped up to the catcher. Your favorite out. Harper heading back. This ball's hit pretty well, and he comes back and misses it. Nolan's around second, and he'll pull into third as Harper had all kinds of trouble with that ball.
He got turned around every which way but sideways trying to catch this ball.
Nolan had fouled a few off that way.
Well, he has. And then he's battling the sun. So he turns around. Right now, you know he's in trouble. He's like, oh boy, I'm going to try to Willie Mays this with the basket catch. And it just goes in between the glove and the arm.
Did he get any leather on this?
No, he didn't. Just whiffed it on the Subaru Supermo, but it is an error on Bryce Harper's 3rd of the season.
Yes, mark that down, E9. And Nolan stands at 3rd with 2 outs.
One, because of this and the extended at bat by Nolan, this might be it for Lucas Giolito now.
Yeah, there's activity in the bullpen for the Nationals. He's at 98 pitches, and that's inside on Dahl.
It's Oliver Perez, 46 pitches.
Yeah, there's Perez in the Nationals bullpen. This is where I seem to think that Dahl has excelled this year, even as a rookie, in this situation where it's key to get a run in. He goes the other way again and under it to Revere. And that's not going to happen here. So despite the error on Harper, Arenado is left at third, but the Rockies are up 4-1 here against the Nationals. With the ball club when there was an off day, and I finally got a chance to take in some of the monuments. It's spectacular, especially the Washington Monument. If you get a chance to come to Washington, D.C., it's a must. Rockies trying to take a series from the team that leads the NL East, comes into the game 75-54, the Nationals. And the Rocks up 4-1 as we go bottom 5. Espinosa, Giolito, and Trey Turner, the leadoff hitter, are due up right now. Giolito is on deck.
And Perez is still throwing out in the bullpen. We have a shorter bench today than they had yesterday. Just 4 guys on the bench after the option of Wilmer Defoe down to Double-A.
Well, Defoe got an at bat yesterday. You guys were talking about how he looked a lot like Curtis Granderson at the plate. Nationals are 38-25 at home, and they've got 37 road wins as well.
8 games over on the road, 13 over at home. They have an 8-game lead in the NL East.
1-1 count on Espinosa, and swings through it for strike 2. They offered Dusty Baker's team. Baker, the 6th manager for the Nationals. You go back and you think about their previous managers: Frank Robinson, Manny Acta, Jim Riggleman, Davey Johnson, and it was Matt Williams until this year. There's Frank, the first Nationals manager. This is poked to left, and it's going to drop in front of Dahl. So a 2-strike single for Danny Espinosa. They'll send Giolito to the plate.
This will be asked to lay down a bunt to sacrifice. Fans, individual game day suites and party facilities are still available. There's something for everyone and every budget. You can ask about suites, the picnic area, the rooftop. Just call 303 Rockies for more information.
Nolan charges.
Yes, he did.
And Giolito misses on the bunt. Just got a piece of it. Tony was able to catch it. Rockies will be home after today. Start up a homestand with the Dodgers.
9 games in 10 days.
Get the Padres, get the Giants. Arizona
and the Giants. Go back in the division.
Swinging away 0-1.
I think he's going to take a double look down at third base to Bob Henley, the third base coach. And Dusty Baker's talking a little hitting.
So here's the 0-2.
See you later. Oh my goodness.
Pulled it back, looked like it was over the plate.
Well, I'm just thinking in the strike zone. Well, at the knees.
I don't know how you don't bunt it.
That's the easiest pitch to bunt because all you have to do is get the bat on the top half of the baseball.
Squares around, bunt is down. Walters came out quick but goes to first to DJ. So Giolito gets the sac bunt down. And Espinosa moves up into scoring position. Tony got out quick.
Well, he was thinking about going to second base. So this ball's going to end up right in this area right there. So right now he's thinking, do I go here? No. When in doubt, get an out. I mean, it would have been close, but it really would have.
Espinosa's a shortstop. He can run. He's athletic.
It's a different guy out there that doesn't have the speed of Danny, I think he goes to second base.
So here's the dangerous young Trey Turner. He's hitting 16 of 18 now since August the 10th, and has 27 runs this month because he led off the game with a homer.
He's reached an 18 straight.
Yeah, that's the 27 runs is a new franchise mark for runs in a month. And he's ahead in the count 2-0. Nationals were 8-9. That was their record when he played second base. They've moved him to center. You know, Rivera's had his issues this year, and they seem to have settled on him as being a center fielder.
Well, and they got Ryan Zimmerman back in the lineup to play him at first. That's the only place he could go. So Murphy moves back to second base. Because when Zim was out, they would play him at second, Daniel Murphy at first.
So Bettis and Walters talk it over. Here's Murphy, who's in the hole. Revera's on deck. Bettis has a walk today. That was to Espinosa. So see if Turner looks on 3-0. He does for strike one. Bettis set and fouled away.
I've been impressed with this kid. Saw him in Colorado to these 2.5 games here.
Well, I think Drew was talking about a Friday night. He stole a couple 3 runs in that game.
It caused 3 errors in that game.
Right.
Stole 2 bases.
Yeah. Hit to right in front of Cargo. And another hit for Turner. So with 1 out, runners at the corners for Ben Revere.
Well, when Turner gets on base, he creates some havoc. On Friday night, stolen base, ball goes into center field. So there's one of the errors. And then yesterday, another stolen base. Doesn't even have to slide on this one. Yeah, 17 stolen bases in 20 attempts.
Yeah, There's the stolen base percentage in the National League. Turner right up there. So here you've got Revere, then Murphy and Harper. Is he going?
I think he's going to try to steal a base because, for one thing, you've got a left-handed hitter, so it's more difficult for the catcher to see where that break is. He gets blocked momentarily, and you have to rely on the infielders to let you know he's going.
Turner doesn't go, and it's a first pitch strike.
And you have good speed at third base in Espinosa. So what do the Rockies do? Do they throw through? Do they come up and fake, then look to third, or do they just eat it? Meaning not throw anywhere.
I know against De La Rosa yesterday they didn't throw down, but there were giant.
But it was the jumps that they got. I would be a little hesitant to throw all the way through with Turner at first.
Here's the 0-1. Grounder to second. Trying to get two. They'll get two, but the run will score. They get two to end the inning. That was my bad. What a big play for Chad Bettis. Turner on base, they get him at second, and they get Revere who can run. The Rockies get out of the inning. Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. So we go to the sixth. The Rockies up 4-1. I lost count of the outs in the bottom half of that inning. The double play helps and ends the inning instead of a run scoring like I thought.
That's all right, though. You get that ground ball off the bat of Ben Revere. Quick runner. That's where it helps with Trey Turner didn't try to steal a base. Get out of that, still leading 4-1. Lucas Giolito out of the ball game now after 5 innings of bringing Oliver Perez. Oliver pitched yesterday, but he only faced one batter, did not retire Daniel Descalso, who was the batter that he faced. He hit him with a pitch. A little bit of a struggle lately for Oliver. Veteran guy, pitched for Pittsburgh, Arizona, Mets. Now here for Washington.
He gets Parra, Descalso, and Walters.
This will probably be the only inning that he's going to be asked to throw, unless Dusty Baker says, I need you to go 2 innings, because they used Zepchinski yesterday for 2 1/3.
I was surprised at that.
Me too.
We've seen him in the past, and he's almost a lefty specialist.
Right, or a 1-inning guy. They didn't get him to be the long guy. So it works in the Rockies' favor where they get Perez in this inning, but they really don't have to worry about anybody from the left-hand side later on in the game.
You were talking about Perez's career. He's pushing 300 career relief appearances, but he made 195 starts.
Well, that was early in his career.
But it's a short list of maybe a dozen guys that, you know, have made at least 195 starts, and this is going to go up the middle. And Parra, who you saw was hitting 277 against lefties, leads off with a single.
Parra says, I don't care what you do with all the motion and the twisting and the turning.
Just not a lot of guys with that many starts, almost 200, and that many relief appearances. A Jamie Wright, a Darren Oliver, those kind of guys come to mind. As Descalso is in the box, he has hit the ball hard, a line out and a fly out.
And he was hit on the left forearm yesterday by Oliver.
Yeah, I was a little nervous that was going to be in the same spot.
I thought it was more the wrist.
As spring training. I think it was up a little bit further. And Danny hits this one hard. Harper on the run. It's in the gap. Parra around second. Descalso cruises into second. And Perez comes in, and the two lefties light him up for a single and a double.
Daniel says, I'm not going to wait around for you to maybe try to hit me today. And he didn't hit him on purpose yesterday. I'm not implying that. But he takes the first pitch.
He's hit the ball hard today.
I'm trying to see what that was. This looked like a fastball. From a little drop down fastball from Perez.
So here's Tony Walters, who comes up. Descalso cruised into second. Second and third, nobody out. Tony let that go inside. It's a strike on the inside part of the plate.
It's now 9 doubles on the season for Daniel.
Two quick strikes on Tony Walters. Struck out in his first at bat and then hit a comebacker in his last AB. Tony's turned it around in the second half, at least at the plate. We know he's been able to do well behind the plate.
Yeah, but think back to the first half. He's making a jump from Double-A to the big leagues. He made another jump from league to league and organization to organization. He had a lot of things spinning around in the head in the first half, just trying to keep his head above water.
Yeah, those numbers prove it. They're drastically different. Perez set, the 1-2. Stays alive. Yeah, this time last year, Tony, I don't think he was playing. I think he had knee surgery. He had been at Double-A Akron for the Indians. So he looks in for the 1-2. Infield's in, outside.
More in it on the left side. Murphy's playing 4 steps behind the grass on the right side.
It's a good look at the alignment. 2-2. Inside. That's why I always say get hit.
Yeah.
I know it's easier.
Right. Everybody says that until you're the one that gets hit. It hurts. Plus, what are you taught your whole life is just kind of turn away and to avoid your natural instinct is to get out of the way.
Just to swipe at that to stay alive. There's what? I don't know. How many guys in the game that didn't subscribe to that? 2 or 3? Ron Hunt.
Ron Hunt. Craig Biggio.
Don Baylor.
Don Baylor.
I remember once when Don was here, I bought, I don't know, these wiffle balls or something from Walmart, and we did a whole thing with him. He's like, you just do this. You just
yeah, they're wiffle balls.
Counts full. And grounded back at Perez. He gets the out at first. Parra stayed at third.
Wise read at third base from Gerardo. Don't run into an out. That would have been an easy play for Perez at home.
Yeah, I don't know how much Tony got on this or how much Woody got on it.
I think a whole lot.
What do you do here with Bettis, Jeff?
Well, they're just, I know Washington just saying be alive for the bunt, and it could be a safety squeeze where he tries to lay down a bunt and then you read it at third base rather than a suicide squeeze.
Well, he showed and pulled it back.
It does help for Gerardo with the left-hander on the hill because his back is to you, so you can get further down the line. Because the rule of thumb is at third base, you get as far off as the third baseman.
I watched that yesterday with Jason Worth. I was down there in the camera well with De La Rosa on the hill. I mean, he was just taking yards outside.
The other thing, too, is if he does bunt it towards third base, if Rendon fields the ball, you're 2 steps behind him as he fields the ball, so you're still gathering ground towards home plate, and then if he throws to first, then you can go on home. Don't get even with him.
Bunted to first. Parra waits, and they just tag Bettis. So now there's 2 down. Bunted right at Zimmerman.
For Zimmerman, as he's coming in, he knows what's happening at third. So this whole play's in front of him. So Gerardo will get down to here, but the third baseman is right with him. So there's nothing he can do as this ball is bunted towards first base. So everybody's together. Nothing Gerardo can do, because if he goes home, he's out. The only hope you could have is that ball gets by Zimmerman or the runners by him. It was bunted just a skosh too hard.
It's a difficult bunt.
Yeah,
to get into that no man's land there.
Right. But you hate to come out of this inning where you had the leadoff single and then you followed up with the double. You have second and third, nobody out, and you don't add on. You don't get another run out of this.
Let's see what Blackman can do for Walt Weiss. 1-0 pitch. It's 1-1. Charlie singled in his first at bat, scored the Rockies' first run, first of their 4. Seven hits for the Rocks, 4 for the Nationals. Inside.
Well, here's a guy that's not afraid to get hit, though. He won't. He'll kind of lean his elbow into it if it's warranted.
As Dylan just said too, he's been raking lately. A hit would help a lot. Outside corner, 2-2.
Was there on the Subaru strike zone. Was caught with the thumb down by the catcher. It looked like it appeared to be pushing it out of the zone. This is the end of it. So the thumb down as he pushes it away. Try to catch those with the thumb up on the corner.
Parra at third, Descalso at second. 2-2 pitch with 2 down. And chopped to first. It's a fair ball. And Zimmerman hits the bag. So despite the leadoff single by Parra and then the double by Descalso, Rockies come up empty, but still needed 4-1 here in D.C. Bettis this afternoon here in D.C. Through 5 innings, 79 pitches. He's allowed 4 hits, the 1 run it's earned, 1 walk, and the 3 Ks, and got a key double play to get out of the last inning.
Part of the 9 ground balls that Chad has had today, just a couple fly outs, been total control. And whatever little traffic he had last inning, he erased it on that double play. And it was bang bang at first base with Ben Revere, but just got him by probably a couple spikes length worth at first.
Bettis has worked ahead in the count, although he's down 2-0 here to Murphy. It's Murphy, Harper, and Rendon here in the 6th for the Nationals. Mark Stout filling in for Drew Goodman. Jeff Houston with you this afternoon. As Murphy fouls it back.
Well, Drew's doing like a lot of people have done in the last couple weeks, or maybe doing it this week, taking his oldest boy Jacob to college and help getting him settled in today. My wife is with our youngest down in Arizona. He's
in the dorm?
Yeah, well, no, he's got an apartment. It's his junior year of college, so he can't live in a dorm.
Yeah.
Come on.
Broke his bat. Parra.
Don't panic.
Didn't. Bettis was there. And he covers first. They get Murphy again, who's 0 for 3. I don't even know, you know. Going back a few years, there's still dorms, right?
Yeah, there's still dorms.
All right, because you know.
Yeah, and most freshmen have to live in the dorm, and then they kind of move out after that. But it's always it's kind of a stressful, fun, unique, exciting time in everybody's life.
You need to experience dorm life.
It was fun.
Oh. Harper first pitch swinging, and this will get out of play. Oh yeah, dorm life, yeah.
Yeah. I know a few of the. I think CSU, CU both started last week.
I didn't want to cook for myself. I want to live on campus in the dorms.
Uh-huh.
They make food for you? Yeah.
So you eat that food for a couple weeks. And then you go, where's mom's cooking?
My mom was a bad cook.
Oh, okay. Mine was a good cook. That's what I miss most.
She's not alive, but she would attest to it. 0-1 on Harper. It's off the plate. I think I grew up on Thomas's English muffins, ragu sauce, and mozzarella on top of it. And you put it in the toaster oven. Right at DJ.
Nice
on the
jab.
shift. Easy throw, 2 down.
Another ground ball out. It's 11.
Hey, Vern is updating us on the flying squirrel. Most flying squirrels are nocturnal, Mark. That's why I haven't been able to see one. Thank you, Vern. I needed that. So Tyler Chatwood is going down to Richmond for his rehab. And the Yard Goats, he's going to play for Hartford AA. They're playing the AA Richmond Flying Squirrels. No wonder I haven't seen one.
There, well,
because I'm not outside at night looking for it.
And that's why Vern helped you out. Thank you, Vern.
Yeah. Rendon, a couple of flyouts, and under this one, up in the air. DJ shading his eyes, and he brings it in. Tough catch for DJ. Nice inning for Chad Bettis, who walks off the hill with a 4-1 lead. Another thing I was able to do for the first time was go to Arlington Cemetery and see the changing of the guard. It was one of the most humbling things I've ever seen. You stand and you're silent and you show respect. As we go to the 7th inning here at Nationals Park, the Rockies lead 4-1. They do that on the hour and the half hour every day. Chris Heisey has moved into left field.
And it's a must-see when you come to Washington.
So Heisey goes to left for Revere. Coda Glover on the hill. You see his numbers from his 8 games this season. The Rockies have seen him a couple of times. He comes in here to start the 7th.
He's made a lot of stops this year. 4 different levels since the beginning of the year for Coda Glover.
And he starts DJ off with a strike. Strike 2.
Coda Glover fastball averages 97 miles an hour. Slider about 90. We just saw 189, and then 1 or 2 changeups.
And a swing and a miss. Uncharacteristic of DJ. Strikes out on 3 pitches. Rockies scored a run in the first. They had a single. They had 2 singles in the first. And a walk helped them score a run in the third. Single homer. That's 5 of their 7 hits. And they had a single and double to lead off the last inning and couldn't score. Here's Cargo with one of the 7 hits for the Rocks. This is 96 on that fastball.
Yeah, and that's what Coda Glover has, just drafted a year ago.
Mile an hour on a cutter. It's 0-2. Yeah, he played in the system here, so you play in what, Potomac and some of the other local spots. Where did you play? Didn't you play rehab for the Orioles?
Yeah, Bowie Bay Sox.
Right, all that's really close.
All in the same
in the area. Cargo steps out. Down 0-2 in the count. Swings over this. Murphy comes up in a quick flip, and they get Carlos Gonzalez. So 2 outs for Glover on just 6 pitches.
Yeah, Washington, they got Hagerstown. That's a single A. The Potomac Nationals, another single A club. Harrisburg Senators, that's their double A club. And you said earlier the Syracuse Chiefs, triple A affiliate in the International League.
So Nolan with 2 outs. A look from right field, where he hit one to Harper earlier in the game. And strike 2. Nolan had an RBI single in the first and a home run. Then he reached on an error, which ended up being a 3-base error on Harper.
Yeah, if it hit a double, they might have to review that so he can have the cycle.
The 0-2 misses. Nolan's got 3 home runs on this road trip, hit a couple in Milwaukee.
He's really the only guy that did anything in Milwaukee.
Check to swing.
Marty Foster at first base.
Says no go. Last at bat. Nolan fouled a few off down the right field line and then ended up hitting a fly ball that Harper misplayed. And there's another hit. Murphy was going the other way, and he watched it go up by him. And he gave a little clap, and Nolan's on again.
You saw that too,
Yeah.
because he was leaning to his left. And then right after it goes by him, he just claps. Just watch him. He's moving this way. The ball goes by, and he just claps. I applaud you, sir.
Glover throws hard. Is he just kind of guessing with the pitch and the
Well, it's just a reaction. Yeah, I mean, when a guy throws that hard, you really can't guess location. You're guessing fastball.
David Dahl, first pitch winging. Murphy gobbles that up and throws him out. So Nolan gets on again for a fourth time. And the Rockies have a 4-1 lead as we hit the 7th inning stretch. And with it being Sunday here in our nation's capital, we will stay to hear God Bless America on just a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Washington, D.C. in the district.
Here to perform God Bless America, ladies and gentlemen, Adalia Jimenez.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Marks down, and Jeff Hewson, Drew Goodman has the day off today. 4-1 is the score. The Rockies are up as Chad Bettis is back on the hill. He has pitched well this afternoon.
It's nice to see after all the guys that had to come into the ball game yesterday, Jordan Lyles being one of those guys. An inning and 2/3 yesterday, up today. Oh no, Mark.
This ball is hit well off the bat of Ramos, and that is out of here. And one pitch, and the Nationals have cut the deficit in half. So Wilson Ramos Sends this one to the red seats in left center.
Well, both runs that Washington has scored today have come via the solo home run. Four-seam fastball in the Subaru Supermo, and Ramos connects and then just stands at home plate for a minute admiring the blast. The ball club's still down 4-2.
They say 450 feet on that, his 20th home run of the season. Talked to Jordan Lyles yesterday in the postgame show, and he was trying to describe his role to me, but he said it changes every day.
So it's one of those jack of all trades type of roles.
And he's adapted to it well.
And Chris Russin is more of the long guy now out there. Oh, he had a free pitch too, I think. That's unfortunate. I don't think
Did he get time?
Ever granted time. No, he wasn't. And that's 1-1.
Yesterday I saw an intentional walk pitch go to the backstop and allow a run to score. It's so hard. You almost alligator arm it there, don't you, Jeff, when you see it, the guy step out?
I mean, you could also see Tony. He didn't keep the target there. He relaxed.
Human nature.
Up.
Yeah, right.
But just a reminder, though, that the umpire has to grant you time.
Here's the 1-2 from Bettis. Zimmerman got that call. He's already fanned twice. Two.
Look at the hat trick.
Yep. 3 strikeouts for Ryan Zimmerman.
Live Rockies baseball is here with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. You can stay connected with live stats, news, and more. MLB.com at bat 2016.
Danny Espinosa steps up to the plate as Walt Weiss looks on. Rocks try to get their 62nd win and win this series after a tough start to the road trip in Milwaukee. And that was after last week when Walt saw his team take 2 or 3 from the Nationals and the Cubs at home. And strike 2 on Espinosa. Bettis started on Monday. Rockies lost that game 4-2. I think 4 of the 6 runs were scored in the first inning with some sloppy play. They just kind of set the tone for that Brewers series.
Yeah, 3 runs in the first inning, 2 earned, and then 1 more in the third inning.
Tried to catch the outside corner, didn't get it.
Completely different Chad Bettis today. Even with the walk to Danny Espinosa, it was a 3-2 pitch, 2 outs. You knew that the pitcher was hitting after Espinosa.
Espinosa stays alive at the plate.
Now Chris Heisey's on deck with the double switch in the last inning.
Chad Bettis trying to get his 20th win of his career if he and the Rockies can hold on. He's ahead on Espinosa 1-2. In the dirt now, it's 2-2.
Wall, you're really hoping that Chad can get through this inning. He's due up 4th next inning. Give you the flexibility. Also, then just ask that bullpen to get 6 outs.
Espinosa fouls another one off in front of Dusty Baker. If you watch the Rockies pregame report, I talked to Matt Belisle today, former Rocky. We were talking about Dusty Baker, among other things. But even a reliever and a guy that's been in the game so long, says to me, Jeff, he said it all starts and ends with the starter on the hill.
Always has, always will.
Just kind of talking about the Rockies and some of the new arms he's watched, and Espinosa swings through that, so a big strikeout for Chad Bettis. And because I said to him, was it strange seeing Jeff Hoffman wearing number 34 on Friday? And he said, yeah, I looked down and I saw number 34.
Yeah, that's the number I used to wear.
Of course, he can't wear 34 here in D.C. because that guy's on the cover of everything. Harper, he wears 18, but you know, even Matt Belisle, veteran, he's pushing 600 appearances in his career, said that. And the Rockies have had a nice start here from Bettis. Here's Chris Heisey. Had a pinch hit home run back in Denver when the Nationals were at Coors Field. It's been kind of the role he's played over the years. He was originally drafted by the Reds.
He's got to get a lot of starts against left-handed pitching. Has some power.
Been with a number of teams, including the Dodgers. 1-1 count.
Chad Bettis, 2 strikeouts this inning, 5 on the afternoon.
Nick for a run in the first, and then the home run here in the 7th. Fooled Heisey there for strike 2. 104 pitches, 68 strikes, 36 balls, and just the 1 free pass.
Took him 111 pitches in the 5 innings in Milwaukee. The difference 5 days can make.
And I was about to say, a strike away from getting out of this inning. Not only does he get out of it, he strikes out the side. Ramos did have the leadoff homer, but Bettis is through 7, and the Rockies have a 4-2 lead. Rockies pitcher to hit a triple before Chris Russin did earlier in this month against the Phillies. There's the current voting totals. Roger Bailey with 6%, Pedro Estacio 23%, Aaron Cook 71%. Go to rootsports_RM and vote. Now that's a good question. I knew the stolen base one earlier.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
had that one. Yeah. Here's Gerardo Parra leading off the 8th for the Rocks. Parra singled in his last at bat, went to third on a double by Descalso, was stranded. This looks like it'll get out of play and it will.
Second inning of work for Coda Glover.
It's been Giolito, Perez, and Glover for the Nationals. Giolito, the rookie, making just his 4th start of the season. And down goes Parra.
Let's go
All
back
right,
to
let's
the
clean
fifth
things
inning.
up a little bit here for me, Jeff.
Clean it up. Instead of an E9 for Nolan and Bryce Harper in right field. Doesn't get leather on this ball. We got word just a few moments ago the official scorers credited Nolan with a triple now. So he's still a double away from the cycle, but he's 4 for 4 on the afternoon.
Those are nice days to have.
Oh.
See, the last cycle was Cuddy, Michael Kadire against the Reds. Did he have that cycle and then like have to go right back on the DL? Didn't he come off the DL, hit for the cycle and
I
a double?
think that day or so. I mean, it's real close.
Was that date August 17th? Can you guys show me that?
Yes, it was.
That was the day that Todd Helton's number was retired. Because I remember there was a Saturday game that was, I don't know, it wasn't rain. Remember, it wasn't a rain out. There was an issue with a water main break at
right
Coors
out,
Field.
No, that was out on the street.
Right. This ball is hit well again by Descalso. Turner's not going to catch up to it into the gap. And Danny with back-to-back doubles. Both to the right field gap. What's that, his 10th double, I think you said it earlier was his 9th.
Double digits in that category for Daniel.
They call him Double D.
Because he takes this one deep into the gap.
Right
That's
off the
Subaru
sweet spot,
Supermo.
yeah.
At the sweet spot of the bat.
This swing has looked really nice for most of this year.
Consistent all year long after missing the first part of the season with the broken wrist.
Tony Walters went 0 for 5 in his start in Milwaukee. He's 0 for 3 today. And he could use a good at bat here. Takes that up high. Should be nice to get another run for the Rocks.
Attack on after they scored a run last half inning.
This ball is right at Espinosa. Don't forget, the day after every Rockies win, you get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Just use that promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com.
Gonna be a pinch hitter for the Rockies and Chad Bettis. Ryan Rayburn. Ryan pinch hitting 9 for 37. 7 for 3 home runs and the 9 RBIs.
He's got a runner in scoring position in Descalso.
Oh, that got the umpire.
Yeah. Here's Descalso coming home. And a crazy play with the home plate umpire, Mike Malinsky. I have to see this again just to see what happened.
I've never seen this before.
The ball popped way up high.
And the reason I say I've seen guys score from second on a pitch that goes to the backstop, but not one that hits the umpire like it did. Two-base wild pitch.
Let's watch what happens.
I don't think. Oh yeah. Never got any leather on it. So it hits
left shoulder.
Malinsky on the shoulder, pops up high, but not high enough to go over the backstop. He drops down.
Ramos is thinking
Ramos is worried about the umpire, making sure he's okay. Now he's got to figure out where the ball is. Coda Glover's pointing towards the backstop. Daniel doesn't stop, nor should he, because the play's not dead. It's still a live ball no matter what happened to the umpire, and he with him going down.
Yeah, it just hit Malinsky in the left shoulder and probably caromed a little bit off of some of his gear.
And I think this was a mix-up, because you're not going to miss a fastball as a catcher like that unless you're thinking it's going to be a slider. So you're waiting for the break and it never happens.
Malinsky's going to get back behind the dish.
The catcher saying slider, slider. Nope, it's not breaking down. Oh, right off the top of the shoulder on the Subaru Supermo.
Yeah, Jeff, you can see Ramos was just grabbing for that, and he's grabbing air.
Yeah, because it had already gone by. But the Rockies do get the run.
It's 1-1 now to Rayburn. Yeah, Daniel Descalso
Wisely just keeps going.
scores from second. He had doubled, and the Rockies are up 5-2. Strike two on Rayburn. So Bettis goes 7 strong innings, allows 2 runs. And that's a called strike 3 on Ryan Rayburn. So Glover sets down Rayburn, but not before the Rockies get an odd run, but a run they tack on to take a 5-2 lead. Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. And by StubHub. Looking for great seats? Head to StubHub, the official ticket marketplace of the Colorado Rockies. Great weekend in the nation's capital for the Rocks and some of the fans that made it here to D.C. As we head to the bottom of the 8th inning, the Rockies have a 5-2 lead. Mark Stout, Jeff Hewson, and the top of the order, Trey Turner, on for D.C. with Jordan Lyles on the hill for the Rocks. Hit well, Blackman got a good read, and Charlie able to backhand it for the first out.
Oh, you like 1 pitch, 1 out for Jordan Lyles. Yesterday played a key role in the ball game. In an inning and 2/3, gave up only 1 hit, but only threw 20 pitches. He came in. It's Ryan Zimmerman to ground out 6-3. Turner with a fly ball to center field. And Jason Worth, the line a soft line out. A very important inning following up Jorge De La Rosa.
Well, with the Nationals sending Clint Robinson up, Walt Weiss comes out, and there's another efficient outing for Jordan Lyles as he gets Trey Turner and gets the first out of the inning. We'll have the pitching change when we come back.
Capital. Like seeing that score right there. There's one out in the bottom of the 8th inning. August 29th is Purple Monday. You can download the MLB.com ballpark app and become eligible to win autographed items. Plus, the first 5,000 fans will receive a Purple Monday V-neck tee, and that's tomorrow against the LA Dodgers. Yeah, you're going to need some help with the weather today. Get a little cool off with the mister.
Oh, Mr. Mister.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you. What'd you say? It was only 86 degrees at first pitch, but it's much warmer than that. Well, Boone Logan, 56 ball games on the season. Second time in this series that he's come in to pitch. Yesterday, at 2/3 of an inning, had a strikeout.
And Boone will start with the pinch hitter Clint Robinson, who steps in from the left side of the box.
Well, and that's why with the 3 left-handers in a row, you got Clint Robinson. They didn't pinch hit for him, so you got left on left. Then you got Murphy and Bryce Harper after that. And the switch, proof is in the numbers. Jordan Lyles 321, Boone Logan 144.
It's outside. Robinson from Alabama went to Troy. Signed as a free agent here last year. Hitting .239. It's off the plate. Boone's been good this year. He's been real good in these situations.
He's had his slider all year long. It's never disappointed.
And that catches the outside of the plate. 2-2 now.
Maybe not the outside of the plate. That was well off the plate, but still called a strike.
DJ's playing shallow right in front of Cargo with the lefty up. And this goes out to Cargo. Just a step or two in the second out. So fly out to center, fly out to right.
It's always nice when you're looking at the guy that's hitting second in the National League and batting to come to the plate with nobody on with a 3-run lead. 2 outs. Now warming up in the Rockies bullpen, Carlos Estevez, and in the Nationals bullpen you have Matt Belisle and Sean Kelly.
Murphy is grounded out to short. He reached on an error and grounded out to first. There's Carlos Estevez. There's the former Rocky Matt Belisle in the pen for the Nats.
Yesterday, Daniel Murphy lined out to center field off of Boone.
First pitch slider for a strike. And a grounder right to DJ. And a nice inning for the Rocks for Lyles. 1 pitch to Turner. And then Boone Logan able to get 2 lefties to end the 8th. swing and not miss. I like
well,
that.
Maybe it's going to be Charlie. Maybe it's going to be DJ.
Because the earlier home runs took me by surprise. Matt Belisle comes on, the former Rocky. 34 games this season. You see his numbers. He was on yesterday, and he struck out Ryan Rayburn. And I mentioned I talked to him prior to the game. This is his 593rd career appearance. And, Jeff, when you look at active pitchers, you know, not on the DL, not in the minors, and as Blackmon takes this pitch, he's in the top 10. And there's two other guys here in the top 10.
Well,
one of them just pitched, right? Boone
Logan.
The other's Chad Qualls.
Chad Qualls. But the last 6 seasons for Matty, 436 appearances.
Blackmon out to Harper. He's had a tough time out there.
It's been a tough day for Bryce Harper, judging the ball out in right field.
Brings that one in. Sunfield. Here comes DJ, National League batting race. It's coming down the stretch. And this is updated from today's action. DJ's at 345 and Daniel Murphy at 343.
Murphy 0 for 4 on the day. How many times you're going to say that? And DJ 0 for 3. Difference is DJ has a walk. He walked in his first at bat.
Grounder to first. And Zimmerman steps on the bag. Who Wants Tacos fans, follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to get alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs.
Well, part of it.
5 today.
Yeah, I was going to say, seeing those people leave, that's part of the 28,124 who came through the gates earlier. They're already trying to get a head start. Walk to the car.
Yeah, I would think they would put more in here on a Sunday afternoon with the first place team. Maybe I'm spoiled by Coors Field.
We do.
Yeah.
We do have wonderful fans. Not to say they're not good here. It's just and maybe they got other things going on the last weekend before school starts.
Cargo a first pitch ball. You see his numbers, a single today. 1-1 from Belisle. Matt mentioned that in the offseason he had bone chips taken out of his right elbow. You know, he pitched last year for St. Louis, but the one thing he said to me today too was I figure out what to omit from my workout program and what to add on to stay at the top of my game. This is hit out to right again, and better read on that one from Harper. So a quick top of the 9th, and the Rockies hold a 5-2 lead. Show to Albuquerque and spends a week with the AAA Isotopes. We show you pitching performances from the Rockies prospects Kyle Freeland and German Marquez. And then we go to the Frontier for breakfast. It's an Albuquerque staple with 2 position players. Conversation with the most recent Isotope turned Rocky, Jeff Hoffman. That is today, a new episode after the postgame show. It's The Club. Stick around for that. There's Boone Logan, who stays on for Bryce Harper, at least, as we start the bottom of the ninth with the Rocks up 5-2.
I think this will be the last guy for Boone, unless it's a one pitch out. I know we've seen Carlos up in the bullpen. Adam Ottavino was up a moment ago. Nobody currently is throwing in the Rockies bullpen. Anthony Rendon on deck.
Chad Bettis was able to handle Bryce Harper. Rolled over 3 pitches to first, and second.
And Bryce Harper 1 for 5 in his previous matchups against Boone.
Heading the count 2-0. Harper 22 homers on the year, 73 RBIs, and 104 hits this season. There's a strike.
It wasn't against Boone yesterday. It was against Jake McGee, another left-hander, where when he got tossed in the 10th inning, I think a pitch away from him on the corner was a strike. Might have been a Scotia.
Ottavino waiting to possibly get ready.
So that tells me this is it for Boone. Adam's ready to go. He knew that Boone would get Harper. After that, it was going to be his.
Rendon and Ramos are the next 2 in line in the order for the Nationals. 3-1 pitch from Boone. Swung, hit well, Cargo back, looks up, and there's home run number 23 for Bryce Harper. Got ahead in the count on Boone Logan and hits it out to make it 5-3.
He is now hit in 13 out of his last 15 games since coming back. 3-1. He was guessing fastball. And he did not miss the belt-high fastball on the Subaru Supermo.
He's got one of those pretty left-handed swings when he connects.
He'd really been pulling off the ball prior to when he was injured. Now he's not.
Boone heads off after the home run by Bryce Harper. Adam Ottavino will be on for the Rocks when we come back. Run here in the bottom of the ninth as Bryce Harper leads off with his 23rd homer, and Adam Ottavino comes off, relieving Boone Logan. And you see Otto's numbers, 22 games this season. Finally hit a bump yesterday. The Rockies were able to win in extra innings.
They've gone 31 in a third inning, 37 games without giving up a run. It was snapped yesterday. Last time he had allowed a run was back on September 7th, 2014.
Threw 19 pitches yesterday. Hasn't had a lot of work, as you saw, and even wondering if he was going to pitch regardless of the situation, you know.
But I think that's where Walt's looking at. I'm worried about today's game, because with the work he did yesterday, today might not be available tomorrow against the Dodgers, but that doesn't matter. Lock this one down today, so it's a happy flight going home. Worry about tomorrow.
There's the auto slider, make it 1-2. Rendon's hit it in the air 3 times. It's been caught 3 times. It's in the dirt. Yesterday, Adam came in. He was trying to get a 4-out save. Got that first out, then came back.
We got down to 2 strikes.
Yeah. 2-2. And a swing and a miss as Rendon goes down. A strikeout for Ottavino.
Rendon anticipating a slider. It's the heater. And movement in. Late on the swing. All important first out for Adam.
Yesterday was Jason Worth in that situation. He threw him a bunch of fastballs, and then Worth hit the slider. So Wilson Ramos at the plate, homered in his last at bat. Takes a slider for a strike. And there's a second strike from Ottavino.
The command for Adams since from when he first came back off the DL to where he is to now is night and day.
He's got Ramos in a 2-strike hole. Fastball, see ya.
I mean, that was good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Watch this strike 3 pitch. You're locked up, right?
He was. He was just flat out locked up. All he can do is tap his cleats, start to trek back. And now Adams commanding the fastball too, both sides of the plate.
You know, I think back, you're right, Jeff, when he first came back, a lot of even 3-0 counts on batters.
And it's not unusual. He didn't have much. I mean, the first time he was back, it was like his spring training. Even though he was down on a rehab, it's not the same. It's not the same adrenaline rush as what you have at the major leagues.
Zimmerman at the plate. That's outside, 2-0. Rocks trying to get this final out to nail down their 62nd win and take the series from the Nationals.
When you win this, you take both series from the Nationals. You'd be taking 4 out of 6 games against the second best team in the National League.
See where the 2-0 goes. Fastball and hit in the air to right. Cargo shades his eyes, and that'll do it as he puts it away, and the Rocks win it by a score of 5-3. Ottavino gets his 2nd save on this season. Spoon Logan with a clap coming out of the dugout, and the Rockies able to celebrate a win here at Nationals Park. Let's get your Jimmy John's delivery of the game. It is none other than Nolan Arenado. Singled in a run in his first at bat. Then he hit one out with a laser of a shot to left field. Tripled to right. Harper got no leather on that, and he added a single for good measure. Fortunately, didn't need a 5th at bat because he was on deck. Chad Bettis gets the win, and the Rockies will have a happy flight back home as they get set to take on the Dodgers at Coors Field beginning on Monday night. And with that, we go back to the studio to Jetty and Spilly in Denver. Guys.